In July 2023,
Gilgo 4 was one of America's longest serial killer cold cases.
The officer located a body.
I'm called, and chief, we found another set of remains. They find another one, and another one. We were dealing with a serial killer.
Rex Heuermann was arrested outside his office in Manhattan. The architect, a husband and father, was now the prime suspect in one of New York's most infamous cold cases.
Architect, father, husband.
So just who is Rex Heuermann? An architect who ran a company called RH Consultants and Associates.
Let's start from the beginning. On a lonely stretch of Long Island's Gilgo Beach, the wind whips across the dunes, carrying the scent of salt and decay. For over a decade, this quiet, desolate place held a terrifying secret.
Heuermann is accused of murdering 7 women and dumping their bodies across Long Island. His ex-wife still doesn't believe he was capable of committing these crimes.
In a serial killer case that's baffled law enforcement and the public, 59-year-old Rex Heuermann pled not guilty.
It began with a missing persons case, a young woman named Shannon Gilbert, and ended with the discovery of a nightmare.
Where are you, Shannon?
She screams. And then nothing.
It was December 2010. Police were searching for Shannon, a sex worker who had vanished after a frantic 911 call from a client's home in Oak Beach.
Without a sign of the missing woman. And then in December 2010, near Gilgo Beach, a police officer and his canine named Blue found human remains.
The search led them to the thick brush along Ocean Parkway, where a police dog found something unexpected. It wasn't Shannon. It was human remains.
Bones, body parts, and shallow graves.
Teams of searchers painstakingly hunted for victims of the serial killer, whose work has stumped investigators since the first 4 grisly finds in
So far, 11 bodies have been discovered. 4 of them now officially listed as victims of this serial killer that's been dubbed the Long Island Ripper.
The discovery of one body led to another and another and another. Over the next few days, police found the remains of 4 women, all wrapped in burlap and dumped in the same area.
There was a lot of torture, porn, and depictions of women being abused, being raped, and being killed.
Rex Heuermann is a demon that walks among us, a predator that ruined families.
They were later identified as Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Barthélemy, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello, 4 sex workers who had vanished between 2007 and 2010.
Rex Heuermann is a mystery man. Rex is capable of presenting himself one way to one person, one way to another person.
The disappearances were no accident. They were the work of a serial killer, a monster who became known as the Gilgo Beach Killer. For over a decade, the case went cold. The trail of evidence seemed to vanish into the ocean mist. The families of the victims lived in a torturous limbo, haunted by unanswered questions. The police had no suspects, no motive, and no idea who was responsible for the brutal murders. The case became a legend, a chilling, unsolved mystery that hung over Long Island like a storm cloud. In 2022, the case was reignited with a new task force and fresh eyes on the evidence. The key to the entire investigation lay in one crucial detail. a burner phone used by the killer to contact his victims. The phone was registered to a number with a call log that pointed to a suspect. The trail led them to Rex Heuermann, a seemingly ordinary architect living in a quiet suburban home in Massapequa Park, just minutes from where the victims were found. Police placed Rex under surveillance. They collected his DNA from a discarded pizza crust and a napkin. The DNA was a match. The evidence was overwhelming.
And that's where we obtained, his full profile from the pizza crust left in the box.
Rex was also a perfect match for a witness's description of the last person seen with Amber Costello, a large, tall man with a big build and a green Chevrolet Avalanche, the exact car that Heuermann owned. The truck, the phone records, the DNA, all of it led back to the same person. It was him. In July 2023, Rex Heuermann was arrested outside his office in Manhattan. The architect, a husband and father, was now the prime suspect in one of New York's most infamous cold cases. He was charged with the murders of Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. He is also considered the primary suspect in the murder of Maureen Brainerd Barnes. As police searched his home, they found a chilling trove of evidence, including hundreds of firearms and computers filled with the images of the victims and other gruesome content. The man who had been a quiet member of his community for years, whose career was built on structure and design, was now being accused of a terrifying double life. A life built on murder and deception. The arrest of Rex Heuermann brought a sense of closure to the families who had waited for over a decade, but it also raised new, horrifying questions. How could a man with a seemingly normal life be capable of such monstrous acts? And as the investigation continues, will the victims of the Gilgo Beach killer finally get the justice they deserve? What are your thoughts on this devastating series of events? Stay tuned and subscribe for more murder, motive, and mayhem